Yeah, well, my name is Anne-F Jacques. I work with sound and little contraptions that I assemble from various odd objects that I find. And background, I would say a long time working with tinkering, uh, tinkering with amplification and tinkering with making various devices that produce sound through their movement or activity. I have no visual art training, but that being said, for me, the visual aspect still has its relevance in my work. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a byproduct, but yeah, it's not coming from any formal training. Yeah, so I've been working on and off with Ryoko since since I met her, and when was that? 2016, and with various projects of installations and performances and everything kind of in between. Like so far, we've done a lot of things that are not a long duration installation, but not just a show for an audience, something that like multiplication of things in a space, and we try to mix our contraptions together as much as possible instead of just putting our work side by side. The idea was to actually work on a more kind of long-term installation, meaning something that would not just be a one-off for an evening or weekend, but really a thing that can stay for longer, but also to have more time to actually work together. Because so far we only had like at max, I don't know, maybe 3 days. But to have the opportunity to really like develop ideas together instead of just coming with like mostly already developed ideas. We kind of work more from some actual experimentations with some very specific little processes. So we're kind of throwing the ball back and forth, often with something like Ryoko asking me a question about how to do this. And then I don't know, but I do a research and I find a way to do it. And by doing that, it kind of leads to something else. It's really nice in a time like this to feel like somebody in the universe cares. It's a huge thing, actually, to feel like both an organization and another human being are kind of on the other side being like, hey, what's happening with you? It made me do things that otherwise would just not have happened. And which doesn't mean that I would just have relaxed and spend the day in the river. I would probably have gone to my studio, got really mad at myself, and not done anything. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna put the update on Ame's website and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this for them. I'm gonna so yeah, it actually turned into something very very supportive for me to have like this sense of structure. Like, you know, often I work and I'm like, yeah, there's a show, there's a performance, there's this, like, you need to have a certain kind of presentable outcome. uh, Now that that's totally lifted and it's like, yeah, maybe you'll present your work again in 8 months, there's a danger of just stopping to do anything whatsoever, which is a danger. But if you, when I am able to keep working a little bit, I found that I had in a way more freedom, or I was experimenting wider. I had no idea, like it didn't have to lead anywhere specific. I mean, I'm still very much looking forward to come see you in person. That may be the while, but it will happen.